shackles of rebellion. In a remote desert village shadowed by towering cliffs and golden sands, 17-year-old Amina stood at the edge of rebellion. Her father, stern and unmoving, loomed before her alongside the village elders. The scent of dust and dry heat filled the air as tension crackled like lightning waiting to strike. "I will not marry him," she declared, voice trembling but loud enough to silence the courtyard. Gasps erupted from the women behind the screen walls, and a rooster let out a confused crow. In a place where women were taught obedience before they could even walk, Amina's refusal was more than bold. It was dangerous. The man she defied, Malik, was the village's wealthiest landowner. Twice her age, Malik had a reputation for cruelty masked by wealth. Amina knew what awaited her behind his walls: isolation, submission, and a life where her voice would never be heard again. But her soul, bright with dreams of freedom, refused to be locked away. Her father's fury was immediate. "You disgrace us," he barked. "You are nothing without this marriage. You shame our name." "I am not property," she replied. "I won't be sold." The punishment came swiftly. The elders nodded, and her wrists and ankles were bound in iron. She was dragged to the old storeroom near the edge of the village, the one that once held spices and grain. Now it held defiance. She was left there in the dark, chains clinking softly as she shifted. Her mother brought her water at night, silent and sorrowful. "Why must you fight?" she whispered. "Because someone has to," Amina replied. 3 days passed. The world forgot her, but the winds carried her story. Eli Morgan, a rancher from Wyoming traveling with a caravan to buy horses, heard whispers of the girl who dared say no. He had no intention of meddling. He was a guest in this land. But something about the tale struck him. He'd known chains before of a different kind. Expectations, grief, obligations. He asked questions. The interpreter warned him not to get involved. That night, Eli found storeroom. A boy led him, nervously pointing to the wooden door. Eli opened it and saw her, Amina, shackled, defiant eyes meeting his. "I can take you away," he said quietly. "You don't have to stay." She studied him. "Why?" "Because what they're doing is wrong." She hesitated. If she ran, she could never return. But was it worth returning to chains? Amina nodded. "Then do it." Eli cut her free. Her ankles bled, but she didn't flinch. They moved through shadows, past sleeping homes, over dunes that shimmered silver under the moonlight. Behind them, the pass crumbled. Ahead, the west called. Westward winds. They rode through the night, crossing dry plains and moonlit roads. Amina clung to Eli's horse, the saddle foreign but firm beneath her. She didn't speak much. Neither did he. The silence was necessary for survival, for understanding. Malik's men were not far behind. The news of her escape spread quickly, turning her defiance into scandal. Malik, furious, sent his best trackers after her. She had stolen his honor, he said. But Amina knew she had taken only herself. During the day, they rested in hidden ravines or friendly trading posts. At night, they traveled under stars that no longer looked like cages. Eli taught her how to read maps, to spot danger, and speak the basics of his language. She learned quickly. Her mind was sharp, her will sharper. "Why are you helping me?" she asked one evening. They sat beside a small fire, sheltered beneath a rocky overhang. Eli was cleaning his rifle, but he paused. "Because someone once helped me," he replied, "and because I couldn't ride away knowing you were left in chains." She didn't say thank you. Not yet. But her eyes softened. Days passed. Her clothes changed: practical trousers, a cotton shirt, boots that blistered until they didn't. Her hair was braided back. Her voice, once trembling, grew steady. One morning, she shot a rattlesnake before it reached their supplies. Eli grinned. "You're turning into a real Westerner." "I'm turning into me," she answered. They crossed into America by week's end. No one chased them now. Amina stood at the border of a world she had only imagined. Mountains in the distance, plains stretching wide. In Wyoming, Eli's ranch unfolded like a dream. Rolling hills, a quiet river, horses grazing in pastures. It was the opposite of her village. Open, free, unwatched. The locals were cautious at first. Amina was different, foreign, but Eli's word meant something. Slowly, she became part of the fabric, helping with horses, teaching Eli's niece to read. But the past wasn't done. Malik had not forgotten. Weeks later, a stranger arrived, posing as a traitor. Amina spotted the scar on his cheek, one of Malik's men. "They're here," she told Eli. That night they prepared. Eli called in help. Ranchers, farmers, travelers who owed him favors. Amina stood on the porch, rifle in hand, heart calm. This time, she wouldn't run. Malik's men came at dawn, but they met resistance, bullets, fences, and a girl who would not be taken. By sunrise, they were gone. Amina exhaled. Eli stood beside her. "You still want to go back?" he asked. She shook her head. "I want to build something new." Years later, the school stood proudly at the edge of the ranch, a small building of wood and hope. Girls came from nearby towns to learn, to dream. Over the entrance, a hand-painted sign read, "Never again in chains." Amina Morgan stood at the door, watching the future walk in with open eyes.